Eagles took control in the second half. Aaron Rodgers had already taken a ton of hits. It looked like the entire Eagles defense called a meeting at the quarterback. Rodgers toughed it out as long as he could, injured ribs on top of a broken thumb. Jordan Love took over in the fourth quarter, brought it to within one score, connecting with rookie Christian Watson. But the Eagles held on for the win, and the big story, Rodgers' ribs.
That's ribs. And it was in the first half and then got kind of re-aggravated in the third quarter. Just having a hard time breathing and rotating my upper body. So I was worried about a punctured lung as well. So I want to get that checked out. As long as we're mathematically alive, I'd like to be out there.
Well, Aaron's the starting quarterback, and he's battled through a lot throughout the course of his career. I think it's pretty well documented, and I think he's been able to play at a pretty high level through a lot of different situations. So again, we'll take it one game at a time and make the best decision moving forward.
One game at a time. The Packers season has been such a mess. Adam, what are you hearing about Rodgers?
Susie, he underwent additional tests today on his ribs, and Matt LaFleur was vague about the results of them, said that it didn't show too much, said there's sometimes things in there that don't show up on the scans. So I think we're right where we were. His ribs are hurt. We don't know the full extent of the damage, but he thought he punctured his lung last night, which tells you it had to be pretty significant to tack on to the fact that he's still playing with the broken thumb. So now we've got a broken thumb. Now we've got injured ribs, however injured they are. But we do have Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers both saying that as long as they are mathematically alive, he would like to be out there. We'll see whether that holds up. If you look at the NFC playoff picture, it's going to be very tough for them to make.
Mathematically, they're alive by 3%, a 3% chance. What would you do moving forward? Would you just let him sit and play Jordan Love?
Well, I think that the Packers should play Jordan Love, but I don't think they will. I don't think there's anybody in that building that has the gonads to tell Aaron Rodgers that he needs to sit down for the time being. Because the best thing for the organization is to find out over the next 5 games whether Jordan Love is the quarterback of the future. I don't think that they will do that. Jordan Love looked great when he came in the game in the fourth quarter. But Aaron Rodgers, if he can physically play, he's going to go out there and say, listen, this is my team. I want to continue to do it. But sometimes what's best for Aaron Rodgers and gives them the best chance to win, because Rodgers does give them the best chance to win. But for the organization, they need to know right now if Jordan Love is the guy, and they have an opportunity to do it over these next 5 games.
So here's where I'd push back on you. I think the Packers made their decision when they signed Aaron Rodgers to 3 years and $150 million. They're not concerned about the future. The future right now is with Aaron Rodgers. Now, health withstanding, if he's healthy, he should play. Now, why do they want to get a look at Jordan Love? Maybe for trade bait or something? I don't know. But if Aaron Rodgers wants to play football, he's playing football in Green Bay, and they made that decision when they gave him $150 million. So the future, to me, is really irrelevant for Green Bay.
I hear what you're saying, but to me, this entire year has been a contradiction on that exact front. Are we playing for now, or are we playing for the future? And they decided to give him this 3-year, $150 million contract, a 2-time reigning MVP at the twilight of his career, right? The window is closing. And then did absolutely nothing with their other hand to help him win right now, right? They drafted these young receivers that we obviously talked at length about getting rid of Davante Adams.
Right.
So for me, they're kind of talking out of both sides of their mouth, and it obviously has been a complete failure in that regard. And I agree with you, RG. At some point, I think they would love to see. This is their philosophy. They always take the long view. They always are planning for the future.
If they were taking the long view, then why did they give Aaron 3 years and $150 million now?
Well, they didn't know the season was going to go like that.
Exactly.
And if they're going to take the long view, let's also remember and point out that this typically and traditionally is one of the most conservative medical teams in the entire National Football League. So if there's any reason not to play Aaron Rodgers, when you're asking who's going to bench him, it'll be the team of doctors, the medical. They won't clear him to play because they're so conservative there.
So I'll push back a little bit as far as them paying Aaron Rodgers for the next 2 to 3 years to be the starting quarterback. They did that because they didn't expect him to be playing as well as he has in the past years as a 2-time MVP. But what the Packers came into this year thinking was we're going to play football like the San Francisco 49ers. We're going to play great defense, load up on that side of the ball. We're going to run the football, and we're going to ask Aaron Rodgers to just be Jimmy Garoppolo and be better than Jimmy Garoppolo. That's why they went and got the young wide receivers. So I don't think they didn't do anything to help Aaron. I think that the year just didn't go the way that they wanted it to go.
I hear what you're saying, but that side of the ball has been a complete mess. We've talked a lot about this offense, but they gave up 500 yards of offense last night. They got ran over, 360 yards rushing.
Their defense has been one of the more disappointing units of any unit in the whole sport of football, college, pro, high school, whatever you want. I mean, it's been that disappointing, and they got a lot of draft capital invested. So when we look at the Packers season in totality, a lot of blame is going to get put on the quarterback and the receivers. But the defense, to me, has been just as big a part of that.
And guess what? We're talking about Aaron Rodgers and whether he'll play this week and the rest of the season. And then that opens up the bigger Aaron Rodgers question about what happens to him and the Green Bay Packers after the season. So for all those who don't have enough right here, there'll be plenty of conversation about Aaron Rodgers.
And plenty of time to talk about that.
No doubt. One last thing. I think, again, he's also been playing through this thumb. I think if we're going to put blame around, we've talked a lot about Aaron's play. Has it been good enough? It goes much higher to that. And I think this goes to that philosophical question. The GM, the organization have really let this team down. They let Aaron down. He's tried to play through his thumb. They've been 1-6, I think, since then, which we can get in that. I mean, a broken thumb playing on your throwing hand is ridiculous. And the fact that he's kind of kept that quiet and played through it, I appreciate that. But this, I think, goes much higher than the quarterback position.
For now, though, it may just be out of his hands. Anyway, we'll wait to hear about that. Let's touch on the Eagles, because Jalen Hurts had 103 yards rushing. In the first quarter, Miles Sanders, 143 yards and 2 touchdowns. They can run. Boog, can they stop the run?
Well, here's the thing. I think they can. Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh played really, really well week 1. Didn't play as well last night. I think in the end, though, I think two things I don't worry about with their offensive line and their defensive line. They may have a little ebbs and flows, but in the end, I think those units together combine the best unit of O&D line in football. And so when it's all said and done, that's the reason why they're going to be the favorite when the NFC playoffs start, is because of the offensive line and because of the D-line with Joseph and Suh to go along with Cox and those other guys.
Derrick Henry's on the way.
Yes.
And Boog, you know this. It's hard to win football games in the NFL.
Yeah, it is.
Right? We all know that, so we can't punish winning. The Eagles just ran for 363 rushing.
Right.
That's the most rushing yards in the universe since like 1948 or something like that.
Yeah.
So their ability to win in so many different ways, whether it's with the Batman crew, A.J. Brown, Quez Watkins, Devontae Smith, or with the running backs, obviously Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts, like you said, Susie, running for 100 yards in the first quarter, 157 total. These guys can beat you in a plethora of ways. I would think we can't punish them just because they didn't win pretty. They put up 40 points on the Green Bay Packers.
I don't think anybody's punishing them, though.
No, I agree. And I obviously a little concerning. You don't want to give up 30, but they were playing a Green Bay team with their backs up against the wall. They were leaving everything out there. This team is too good. This roster is too deep. They can get you in so many different ways. They're going to get Jordan Davis back also on this defensive line, I think, for the stretch. And again, at the center of all this is Jalen Hurts. He's just playing at such a high level. He's making such good decisions at the helm with the ball in his hands. And they ask him to do it again every single play. And he's delivering. So he's right there at the core of it. And again, I do agree. They're the team to beat in the NFC.
Mahomes, Hurts, Tua, MVP? Is that what we are?
Absolutely.
Jalen Hurts is the MVP favorite right now.
Yep.
I mean, whatever order. Those three are the
Yes, in the conversation.
Exactly. Got it.
And think about this. They accumulated all that extra draft capital. They're going to have a top 10 pick from the New Orleans Saints.
Wow.
They wanted that in case they needed a quarterback. Guess what? They don't need a quarterback.
They don't need a quarterback.
So they can strengthen the other areas of the roster. And by the way, as a general rule, if you run for 363 yards in a game, you're going to win most games, no matter how the defense plays.
There you go.
Yeah.
How about the NFC East? If the playoffs started today, all 4 teams would be in.
NFC Beast.
And I like
NFC
that.
NFC Beast now.
One more game to go in Week 12. Robert calls the Colts the Fighting Jeff Saturdays.
There he is. You know he's going to have one of those bubble vests on anytime he walks in the building.
Hey, that is the definition of strap it up and go to work.
I've seen him wear that outfit to get up before.
That's what got him the job.
All right, the Colts take it on the Steelers, and rookie quarterback Kenny Pickett makes his Monday Night Football debut.
Oh, man, look at that flow of the hair.
Keyword, that's a rookie outfit right there.
That's a rookie outfit? I'm just saying, look at the hair, man. It's just nice.
I can't comment on anybody's hair.
Because you're bald, too much relaxer when you was growing up, Boog.
Looking forward to talking about the game and so much more. We are just getting started on the Week 12 edition of Monday Night Countdown. Up next, Lamar Jackson and the Eagles took control in the second half. Aaron Rodgers had already taken a ton of hits. It looked like the entire Eagles defense called a meeting at the quarterback. Rodgers toughed it out as long as he could, injured ribs on top of a broken thumb. Jordan Love took over in the fourth quarter, brought it to within one score, connecting with rookie Christian Watson. But the Eagles held on for the win, and the big story, Rodgers' ribs.
That's ribs. And it was in the first half and then got kind of re-aggravated in the third quarter. Just having a hard time breathing and rotating my upper body. So I was worried about a punctured lung as well. So I want to get that checked out. As long as we're mathematically alive, I'd like to be out there.
Well, Aaron's the starting quarterback, and he's battled through a lot throughout the course of his career. I think it's pretty well documented, and I think he's been able to play at a pretty high level through a lot of different situations. So again, we'll take it one